Welcome, guys. Today we have yet another beautiful couple to come and share with us how they're living their vows. They've set these vows, I think, 10 years ago, and they're still holding on, young and beautiful. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves to us, and then we take it right from there. Hello, guys.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine,
You're looking nice. Can you please introduce yourselves to our viewers?
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Hi everyone, my name is Mrs Baloyi.
My name is Tshepiso Baloyi.
Okay. Wow. How did you guys meet?
I don't quite remember the date, but it's a sequential. She will mention the date.
Yeah.
But we met at church.
Mm-hmm.
As I remember, I was the teen leader, teen class leader. So I was teaching her on our teen class.
Mm-hmm.
By that time, I didn't have any interest. It was just a teen class teacher teaching students.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, because I was close to his brothers,
Mm-hmm.
I think something sparked out from there.
Interesting.
I chose her to be what do you call it? The class monitor.
Okay.
She led the teen class.
Mm-hmm.
From teen class, I was handling all the operations in the youth ministry.
Yeah.
If you want something to be done, we send her. If you want a meeting, movie night, all night,
Yeah.
she was the one who was organizing.
Yeah.
Yes, she would.
So you saw this lady on our
Yeah,
That's
quite disciplined.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes, ma. Somebody saw you. When are we perekelela mo ntlong ya morena? So can you give us the version of how you met?
Well, we met in church, yes. I was very timid and shy, but whenever I got the gear, somehow I would do it because I loved what I do. I'm a singer. That is the very thing that I think kept me well-rounded in church, singing for God. And how we met, even though he doesn't remember the date, it was on the 11th of January when in 2010, that was when he told me he loves me and he wants to have a relationship with me. So I didn't have any intentions whatsoever. But after I signed up initiator, I gave it a chance and I get so like 31.
When you saw him for the first time, what were your impressions about him? Like
Yeah, I don't think you could have, because I was the teacher. I was a teen teacher.
Yeah.
So the chances of anticipating that from the teacher were very, very.
Yeah.
And the youth leader.
Yeah.
The chances were.
Yeah.
And not only that, I just didn't have interest in boys. I mean, he's the first person I've dated, and
Really?
yes.
How old were you then?
2010, I was, how old was I? I don't even remember.
Maybe 19.
19?
Maybe 19. Oh, okay.
Yes,
So-
I was 19.
Yeah.
Okay.
19.
So you guys decided, you courted, and then you eventually got married. When did you get married?
We got married on the 22nd of December 2012.
2012.
So
2 years later.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Can you take us through the process of preparing for your wedding?
Should I?
Yes, you should.
Okay. The process was quite draining and daunting. I have 6 brothers. I'm the only girl. And I thought that the process would be as smooth as possible, because I just wanted to do it and for a lack of better words, just to do it and get it over with, because the process was quite long for us. My mother was very, very supportive, but my extended family wasn't. I think maybe they felt I was too young, because we got engaged when I was 20 and then we got married when I was 21. So they felt I was too young to be in a relationship to begin with, let alone now to be getting married.
Yeah.
So they weren't as supportive as I wished they could have been at the time. But my mom made sure I got married, and it's because of her that I'm here.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
beautiful.
still here.
Yeah. So how long have you been married?
For 10 years now. It'll be 10 years in December.
In December.
Yes.
Wow. 10 years later. On the 22nd
22nd
December
Yes.
2012,
2012, yeah.
you made vows that you're going to be together.
Mhm.
So can you take us through your journey of living these vows for the many years that you've been together? And like when Rosemary, I think you grew up in this marriage.
Yes.
You got married when you're 21. And yeah, so can you take us through the different seasons of marriage we have in sickness and in health? And I believe at some point in your life you were sick, or the kids or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, when I got married at 21, first and foremost, I couldn't cook.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I couldn't cook. He thinks I could. He still believes that I'm quite good, but I felt I couldn't cook. My brothers, they can even attest to what when you know Nasi it's wapa.
Yeah.
I could clean.
Yeah.
That was my secret weapon. I can clean like nobody's business.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we're still married, maybe. But yes, I recently acquired quite good skills in cooking. Now I'm better than I was before. So in the growth part, I would say I've learned that. And then in sickness, I'm a sickly person. Out of the blue. We never know what sparks what happens when, I just get sick. But I'll try not to be emotional when I say this, at least half of what he has done and the reason why we're still together. So
what is that?
Oh, you're supposed to take where she wanted to talk about how sick she is, and she's been down time and again. So when as a partner, how were you there to support her at all the times when she was not well?
Yeah, it is not quite easy.
Yeah.
Because sometimes she will get sick. I get sick here and there, but she gets sick more than me.
Yeah.
She got sick. The last time she got sick, it was our last son, Micah. She had a problem with her left breast. It had something, I don't know. An abscess. She went and got operated, and she had to go for 2 weeks or a week
2 weeks.
to swab in some medication.
What abscess in Setswana for others to appreciate? Sekaku, more the belly, more inside the breast.
Inside. They had to cut through and drain the thing out. And she had to go for dressing every day while she was breastfeeding.
So she used one breast to breastfeed.
She was using both, but this one got sick
Mm.
and nearly made Micah sick. Yeah.
Mm.
But eventually, she had to go through. It was very, very painful because she couldn't bath herself. She couldn't move with his hand, so it was quite very, very hard. And now the birth of Micah, she gave birth in an ambulance because I was working at a village in Riverwalk and we were staying in Mogoditane. It was 15 kilometers away. Mogoditane, Kudiring.
Yes, Kudiring.
And I was working in Riverwalk, Super Spa.
Riverwalk, yes.
She called me on Saturday, it was Saturday around 2, I think, saying she feels the pain.
The baby's here.
And I was working a weekend and the manager that I was working with was off, weekend off.
Yes.
I had to call him, he said he's not in town.
Yeah.
I had to call my boss and my boss said I'll call somebody from the other shop, just go.
Yes,
I had to drive all the way from Riverwalk home.
Traffic.
The entire busted in Bula Spa. Had to take a taxi. I arrived, took a taxi special. I arrived there, took her to Morisani Clinic. They said, we don't deliver here. She has to go to Cholamusis. The ladies called the ambulance. While we were waiting there, they told me, go to Marina, we'll take you to Marina. Went to Marina, I waited for an hour or so in Marina. When I called, they said she gave birth in the ambulance.
So you couldn't go inside the ambulance?
I couldn't go inside the ambulance because I was with the 2 other kids.
Oh, yeah.
This was during the COVID.
Yeah.
So her sickness was very, very challenging. It's just this one that I'm giving examples of. She has been sick a lot.
It was a challenge
to
you or as a partner.
Yeah, it was. I had to go to work at 6 a.m. and I have to make sure she has taken a bath where she couldn't, and the young baby.
Yeah.
When the baby cries at night, I'm waking up because she can't wake up. She has all those medications stuffed in her.
Yeah.
So it has been a journey that was trying.
Yeah.
Those kind of things, they help and stretch you a
I
bit
think
so
so.
that you can withstand
Exactly.
what else is going to come.
They strengthen you. Like
Yeah.
each and every challenge you meet, it prepares you to be even stronger.
Yeah.
So I think now the baby we're talking about is almost 2 years. So you guys have passed that phase, that challenging phase. Phase. What is it that you can say, Tshepiso, was your gave you strength during that time? Like, you have to bath the baby, you took days maybe from work. 2 kids have to go to school. 2 other kids have to go. It was just too much.
Our kids were not going to school by the time.
By then.
She was homeschooling them.
Oh, wow.
She homeschooled them till now. They started going to school now. The other one is doing standard 3. She went straight to standard 3 after passing the test for standard 3. And the other one, supposed to be standard 2, but he played and they took him to standard 1. So
Wait. You homeschooled your firstborn, right?
Actually both my first and my second.
So standard 1 and 2, they did them at home, homeschooling.
Yeah.
Homeschooling.
And then you took her to school.
No.
She went through a test.
She went through an intake, they call it
entrance test.
something like that, yes.
She passed it. Went to standard 3.
Went to standard 3.
How did you do it? You had a syllabus.
Sometimes as mothers we tend to, I don't even know the perfect word for this, but limit.
Yeah.
But the moment you are faced with something,
Yes.
and it requires you to think on your feet, you make sure that you live up to the task. So I remember one time around 2 o'clock, I think you had stock take. I was at home with the kids around 2 o'clock at night. I went through my laptop. I was also going to school. I'm going for my 2nd degree. So I was busy doing my assignments, and it just popped into my head that I need to look for material for them to study at home, because we couldn't afford to take them to school. We needed money. We wanted them to go to a proper school, not just any school. So I was up 2 o'clock in the morning, I just went on Google and I was searching grade 2 material, teaching material. And I came across Jolly Phonics. And I found like it's 8 books, workbooks, and you give them to your child. They learn how to read, how to write, how to sound alphabets. She's quite a good reader now. And then my second born, I also did the same, but with my second, I think I was a bit more, I wasn't as vigorous as I was with my first, because he's a boy and he's very sensitive, believe it or not. He's not like my first. So we couldn't meet Naleene to get halfway through. So when we took them to school, my first passed the interview and she skipped a grade, went to standard 3, and then my second had to go back a grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tshepiso, you found a diligent wife.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Yes. So we are just done with the face off in sickness and in health. You guys have gone through quite a lot and you overcame. And during all this time when your wife was down, Tshepiso, what kept you as a partner?
I think looking at her and how she pulled through and the sacrifices that she was doing and giving to us, that challenged me as well to do something and to at least show a bit of commitment, because even when I will knock off at work at around 8 p.m. When I get home, I make sure that that she eats and the kids eat something. I will prepare a meal. That was to show that it doesn't matter how tired I am from work. I just have to show a certain commitment. But because she was trying harder, I had to try harder. That kept me through.
So it's her commitment that pushed you to be so committed as well.
I was feeding from it.
Yes, you're feeding from her commitment. But I believe also God was with you all through this time when everything was going like otherwise. And another season is for richer, for poorer. Anything to share in that regard? Yes, finances are one of the main causes of divorce, because we go through different seasons. You know, the time you met, you might be having enough for the two of you, and now the family has grown now, 5 of you. Now the finances have been stretched, and that can bring tension between the two of you. So how have you dealt with that?
I would like to point out that like I mentioned, I'm a student. I've gone back to university to do my second degree. I don't get allowance. I'm sponsored by the university because I got a scholarship from my previous degree.
Wow. Did you pass well?
I did quite well. I was in the top 3 best students the entire university.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He's the one who makes sure I go to school on time and I have money for that, for transport. Wow. I go to school in Block 7, Limpopo.
Yeah.
So I travel from Lepulule to Limpopo every day.
Yeah.
And now that the transport has hiked, I use 60 pula every day to go to school. He makes sure that the car has petrol to drop off the kids now that they've gone back to school. He makes sure the nanny has money. We pay for the nanny to take care of the little one at home. He buys food. So it's been hard for us. It's been very hard. I
know.
Ba post dinepe mo Facebook,
Mo Instagram mo
nna ke itla ka moriana wa me wa Afronyana.
But you have beautiful hair. You know, God works in mysterious ways.
I'm starting to love it now.
Yeah.
So one of ninja, and then I do bother him. I won't lie, I do bother him. Gana Banyana, they have allowance, and I'm married. We've been married for 10 years. I don't even have allowance. So it's a conversation that we need to have, and that we always have. And that conversation is what keeps us going. Without that conversation, we would have that friction. I've had moments where I've had resentment towards him until I voice out. So yeah, the phase we are in right now is still recovering financially. But we know that God is still with us. That's why we are even seated here together.
So what I'm picking from you is the fact that you can communicate. Communication is one of the cornerstones for us to be able to talk. That is a very useful tool, and it has worked for you, and it continues to work for you. Yes, that's beautiful. I don't know if there's any other season that you'd want to maybe share with us, to have and to hold. How do you keep your marriage together? How do you spice it? Been spicing it for 10 years.
These days it's hard to spice because financial issues. But like you said, when the kids were not here, it was much easier. We could go out and spend the night away from home. We could go out and just sit and eat. But these days it's a bit hard. I had to accept something, that when I got married to her, she would just finished Form 5. She hadn't went to university. So I gave up something, said I will let her go to school.
That's beautiful,
despite of how, there was just last week, she said, let me just quit and get a job. Last week she was saying that. Then I said, just let this pass, because you are nearly almost done. And we are not going to remember this time that we are in now. After she has finished and working now. We will never remember that we had to go through that. We will know that there was a time, but it will not matter by the time she finished school and start working. So I believe we are not immune. You know, getting married is not, we don't automatically get immune from these things, from challenges and everything that comes.
It's part of the institution.
It's how you deal with them that will determine how long you will be together.
That's true.
Because you will never know what kind of storm is coming and which direction. You might find it befalling you unexpectedly. And I believe we had a time where we spiced it up. And we are at a time where the dry season now.
No, I think he's downplaying. Babe. Babe is like the most extravagant things. And he tends to want to do the most wow things, and he forgets what it's the little things. For me, it's the little things.
For women, it's the little things.
Okay, I can say that. Because I was just saying this. You can prove me wrong if I'm not telling the truth. I just finished my period a week ago, and I was like, baby, can tell him every time I like period I may have without this a bit. Can you get Mariah on that? I gotta get a place as I said today. I didn't even hint it to him over, baby. Can it's the little things that you do that actually keeps us spiced up. And it's even in the little conversations. that we have. He doesn't like it. He's not as affectionate when we are out in public. I am. So on my Facebook page, I shared that he sent me something a bit that some people felt was a bit nasty, but I liked it because it's what keeps us together. We were having a conversation, texting each other, and he was like, I miss tasting you. And I was like, I love how you taste me. So I shared that, and I said, it's the little conversations that we have that keep me here. So that's why I'm saying he's downplaying it. He still does small things.
So you are not in a dry land?
No, it's not a dry season.
Yes, not a dry season.
No.
Okay, fine. So he spoke about the kids. When the kids came in, how are you keeping it? Parentals? How has it been so far?
It's been hard. I mean, any parent can tell you it's a big headache, but imagine Bali 3. Like, I'm a full-time student. I get to school on 5. It's only around past 6 if I'm lucky, because I hike from Limpopo. So if I come home past 6, auntie has to leave. She's not a stay-in, so she leaves. It's an routine. It's very hard. I'm only fortunate enough when my husband works in shifts. What I mean is, like, if I towards 10 in the mid-morning, I'll chase the 8. But if he goes to work early in the morning at 6, by around 5 or 6 p.m. he's home. So we end up meeting each other at home. He will cook dinner, I'll watch the kids. Sometimes I cook, he watches the kids. So we help each other. I wouldn't say I am managing Kelenosi. It will be a lie. I'm doing it I'm feeding off his support. And I would like to believe he feeds off mine as well. So that's how we are managing it.
That's beautiful, Rose. So you have a modern man who, when you are back in the kids, is cooking.
Yes.
Not the kind that comes home and reads the newspaper and watch TV. Wow, that's beautiful. So you are in it together. You are partners in the whole thing. So in closing, why do you still choose Rose Tshepiso? Even after 10 years, why would you still choose her?
I wouldn't have chosen anybody else because I saw her growing up. I have, through being a teenager, going to the youth meetings. Saw her while I was a youth president for our church, and she has been remarkably spiritually performing.
Remarkably spiritually performing.
So I really feel she meets all the areas in my life that are empty, and she irons them clean.
That's beautiful.
Her support has been visible.
Yeah.
And I feel I will always still choose her.
That's beautiful. Why'd you still choose him?
He's my best friend.
Yeah.
When I'm away and I get good news, he's the first person I want to tell. I can't go to sleep knowing we have an argument and it's not resolved. I always want to resolve things, and then he wants to sleep on it.
Think about it.
Yes, not the thinking, it doesn't work for me. I want to do things now, we finish, and then we can move on. That's how I see it. But anyway, I would, given the chance, I would take a bullet for him. He's my friend. He's my best friend. There's no other way to describe it. He's my friend, he's my brother. He's everything.
Wow, what a beautiful story. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Subscribe to our channel. Please listen to this beautiful story. It is beautiful. It can encourage you. Remember to subscribe and share the video with anybody whom you know it will work for. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you.